Welcome in here to another Elmira Pioneers live stream. The Pioneers, after taking down Niagara 5-0 last night, have now traveled, made the trip all the way up here to Batavia to take on the #1 team in the Western Division standings in the Batavia Muckdogs. Hello everyone, I'm Alex Shepard, and I once again be your play-by-play commentator tonight. And tonight, a very big night for the Pioneers. They are looking to make it not only 4 in a row, but also take down the Muckdogs here in Batavia for the first time this season. So a massive game for the Pioneers coming up. Pioneers, of course, as we take a look over to the standings, are sitting at second place at 15-9 overall after picking up that win last night against Niagara. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak. They won back-to-back games against Auburn, the 2 games before last night's Niagara game. And, of course, Devin Murray started out the game against Niagara last night and was absolutely lights out. He threw for 6 innings, only gave up 5 hits, and had 10 strikeouts last night. So a very, very good night for Murray last night. And then Nelson and Ficarra were able to clean up after him in order to get the win and shut out the power. And, of course, now you can see that the Pioneers are sitting just behind the Muckdogs. And the Pioneers, why this game is so pivotal is because tomorrow, as I take a look at the upcoming schedule real quick, tomorrow the Pioneers are going to be playing the Batavia Muckdogs in Elmira for a doubleheader on the 9th of July. However, that game is currently up in the air, as both those games are actually currently up in the air due to the weather. There is actually quite a lot of rain on the forecast for Elmira tomorrow, so those games could very well not happen and be canceled due to the rain and due to the bad weather. And the reason why that is so pivotal is because if the Pioneers want to get a game back and close in on the Muckdogs a little bit, they need to get a win tonight to guarantee them that they get a game back, because tomorrow they may not have the opportunity to, with that doubleheader being up in the air due to the weather. And then, of course, on the 10th, it would not only just be a massive win tonight just to get the win streak and continue it, make it 4 in a row. It would tie for the longest winning streak of the season for the Pioneers. They also had a 4-game win streak a little bit earlier on, but also they have an off day on the 10th. So if they can win tonight and then maybe tomorrow's games don't happen, they would be on a 4-game winning streak going into an off day, and then before they hit a couple of rough stretches and a long stretch coming up for the Pioneers. So Pioneers looking for a massive win, 15-9, and Batavia 18-8. In the next 2 days, if all the games are played, the top 2 teams in the Western Division will play each other 3 times. So a lot of opportunity for movement up and down for both teams. And so this next 3 games for the Pioneers, if they are played, are going to be massive. And it's really going to be either a huge breaking point for the Muckdogs or a closing in point for the Pioneers. And there's not a whole lot in between. Even if the Muckdogs win 2, it's still them pulling away. And if the Pioneers are able to win tonight and then split tomorrow if those games happen, I still take that as a win, I think, just because they'd still be getting a game closer to the Muckdogs up at the top. And so now with all that out of the way, I'm now going to go through the starting lineup for the Muckdogs here. Leading off, it'll be number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder tonight. Batting second, it'll be number 36, Lucas Lopez, the third baseman. Batting third, it'll be number 23, Adam Agresti, the catcher. Batting fourth, it'll be number 45, Matt DeStefano, the left fielder. Batting fifth, it'll be number 88, Giuseppe Arcuri, the second baseman. Batting sixth, it'll be number 2, Christian Bernardini. Excuse me, that name caught me up there for a second. The extra hitter tonight. Batting seventh, it'll be number 4, Trey Bacon, the first baseman. Batting eighth, it'll be number 27, James Celta, the designated hitter. Batting ninth, it'll be number 32, Rashad Robinson, the center fielder. And batting 10th, it'll be number 7, Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop tonight. And, of course, on the mound for the Muckdogs, it'll be number 77, Ryan Kinney, the starting pitcher for the Muckdogs. Kinney, a familiar name, has played against the Pioneers a couple times in the 4 matchups that the Pioneers have had against the Muckdogs. And, of course, as we take a look at the Pioneers' season record against the Muckdogs, they are 2-2. They've won both games that they have played in Elmira, and they have lost both times that they have come here to Batavia. Elmira looking to end that streak and end the pattern tonight here in Batavia. Not also to mention that the last time the Pioneers did play the Muckdogs just overall was back here in Batavia. That was a 9-2 loss where the Muckdogs were able to dominate against the Pioneers. That was actually one of the games in that 3-game losing skid that the Pioneers had earlier on this season. Obviously, Pioneers on a 3-game winning streak here and can make it 4 tonight if they take down the Muckdogs and the #1 team in the West Division. So a very hype and very, very high intensity and very, very important matchup tonight for both teams. Obviously, Batavia just looking to pull away because they're up at the top, and the only teams, everybody is sort of 2.5 games back, but if they get a couple of wins against the Pioneers, they can not only drop the Pioneers down a couple of places, but they can also separate themselves from everyone else. So right now, the Pioneers trying to keep the Muckdogs down with the rest of the pack. And obviously, it is pretty important that the Pioneers stay in the top 2 spots. And the reason why I say that is because the top 2 spots get to host playoff games for the first round of the playoffs. Obviously, the top 4 teams in the Western Division will make the playoffs at the end of the season. And the end of the season is actually rapidly approaching. It's already July 9th, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's been a really fast-paced season when Pioneers are already halfway through it. And so now, as I've said all that, I'm going to take a quick look at the Elmira Pioneers starting lineup tonight. Leading off, it'll be #1, Matt Granado, the center fielder. Batting second, it'll be #77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Batting third, it'll be #10, John Schroeder, the catcher. Batting fourth, it'll be #9, Aiden Blake, the extra hitter. Batting fifth, it'll be #47, Ray Hernandez. Batting sixth, it'll be #14, Jake Keller, the designated hitter. Batting seventh, it'll be #42, Nick Montagna. So a bit of an interesting story there. Montagna actually forgot his jersey, so he's wearing Spencer Aubyn's #42 tonight. And Montagna is normally #40. He will be wearing 42 tonight, just to clear up that confusion. He will also be playing second base tonight. Batting eighth, it'll be #30, Cam Levesque, the right fielder. Batting ninth, it'll be #22, Nick Bisaccia, the shortstop. And batting 10th, it'll be #24, Eric Charnetsky, the left fielder tonight. And starting on the mound tonight for the Pioneers, it will be #88, Joseph Keltson, who will be getting the start tonight. Keltson has been lights out for the Pioneers so far this season. He's had a couple of starts against some really tough teams, and he's done well in those starts. And so really it's going to be very good to see Joseph start tonight for the Pioneers. Obviously, Pioneers hoping that he can go 5 or 6 innings without giving up too many runs to keep the Pioneers in it. Obviously, the Pioneers had one of their more high-scoring games last night. 5-0 was the final against Niagara, and that was the first time the Pioneers have scored more than 3 runs in what it feels like forever. However, they finally snapped that streak and got 5 runs last night. And they could have had more last night. They had several opportunities to get some more runs, so still a lot of room for improvement for the Pioneers. And obviously, Batavia is one of the more high-scoring teams in the Western Division, and they are #1 for a reason. They are good. And so if the Pioneers can put up 5 or more runs and Keltson holds them to 3 or less, Pioneers are coming out with the win. So Pioneers need both the pitching and the bats to be elite tonight in order to get the win, but it would be a massive one, and I want to emphasize, I almost say that every game is massive. This one has an emphasis and a couple exclamation points behind it because of how much importance this game carries for both teams. And so it'll be very interesting to see, and I did speak with Joseph a little bit earlier. He gave me his arsenal for tonight. So once again, like I have been doing the past couple nights, I've been identifying pitches the past 2 nights on the live stream. So Keltson gave me his 4 pitches. He is going to be throwing fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider tonight. So I'll be trying and identifying those as best to my ability. And so now we are seeing the Pioneers lineup on the line here. Their starting lineup is being announced. Pioneers, obviously, in their road blues with the gray pants and blue caps tonight. Batavia, and it was picture night for Batavia. Actually, they took some team photos over there in left field before the game started. And they will be wearing their home reds with white pants and white caps tonight. So the classic red versus blue clash here in the top 2 teams in the West Division. And some of the other pitchers that were listed tonight on the lineup card that Coach Drum gave me, it's also going to be Connor Lutz is going to probably be making an appearance tonight. And normally, Lutz has only ever started for the Pioneers. However, he will be getting some throws in tonight, potentially in relief of Keltson. And hopefully, in that scenario, Lutz is working with the lead that Keltson gives him. And then, of course, Ferrari, Ficaro, Burkan, and McGovern are all on the list for the Pioneers in terms of other pitchers that are available. So A lot of weapons for Coach Drum to work with tonight. This is one of the longer pitching staffs that he has put on a lineup card. So a lot of weapons for the Pioneers to work with tonight. They're obviously looking for a win, and you can tell by how many pitchers Coach Drum is trying to put on a lineup card that he really wants to get this game. And of course, I do have the 20th Coach's Corner of the season. I was able to get and talk with head coach Drum earlier today before we left Elmira. So I'll be playing that in just a little while. However, also, I'm going to wait a little minute for Batavia to run through their show and go. And of course, as it goes without saying, both Elmira and Batavia like to do pregame shows before all the games and do sponsored events. So there are only a couple first pitches from what I was told tonight in terms of what Batavia has. So that's why I started the stream when I did. However, the Pioneers looking to go up in the season series. I know that these two teams are rivals, and they both want to beat each other really, really bad. And so, obviously, the Pioneers, who are riding so much momentum right now, trying to really just get over the hump against the Muckdogs. They haven't been able to go really all that well here in Batavia. Obviously, last time that the Pioneers were here in Batavia, they lost 9-2. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. But the first time that the Pioneers were here in Batavia, it was the second game of the season, June 3rd, and that was only a 4-5 loss, so that was a very, very tightly contested one. So really, Pioneers have been able to put up some fights against the Muckdogs, and obviously they've won twice when they were in Elmira back at home. And of course, that goes without saying, the Pioneers are a great home team. They're 10-3 at home, but only 5-5 on the road. And obviously, the Pioneers trying to go above 500 on the road tonight if they can beat Batavia. And the Muckdogs are also on a 3-game win streak of their own. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. So Muckdogs and Pioneers riding both a ton of momentum going into tonight's game. And these two teams are going to clash tonight, and it should be epic. And now it looks like finally the Muckdogs are about done with their starting lineup. So now I am going to send it to the 20th Coaches Corner of the season. I got back with head coach Andrew Drum tonight. I had the past couple with assistant coach Brian Joe or BJ. I have head coach Andrew Drum today for the Coaches Corner. Let's take a listen to that.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex Trippett and I'm back here with the 20th day of the Coaches Corner. Once again joined here by head coach of the Elmira Pioneers, Andrew Drum. How are you doing today, Coach Drum?
Good, how are you, Alex?
Doing pretty good. And my first question for you, Coach, a big win last night over Niagara, 5-0. What were your takeaways from that game?
We all around played a good game. I think we only had one error. We hit the ball with 9 or 10 hits, scored 5 runs. Devin looked great on the mound, 10 strikeouts. Zach looked great on the mound. I think he had a couple strikeouts as well. No earned runs. Vaccaro cleaned us up in the 9th. All-around team effort.
And now you guys are riding a 3-game win streak, having won 3 in a row, back-to-back wins against Auburn, and then last night's win against Niagara. How much momentum does that give you going into tonight's tough matchup against the number 1 team in the Western Division standings in Batavia?
Oh, the Pios are rolling. We're ready to go. We're going to come hard. We're going to be fast and furious with everything, and we want a big win here in Batavia tonight.
Absolutely. And you mentioned how big of a win it would be, and how big of a win would it be considering you guys have not won in Batavia yet so far, and also it's a chance for you guys to get a game back up against them and try and climb a little bit closer to them at the top of the standings?
Every game with these guys at the top, they're important games. Us, Batavia, Niagara, Jamestown, every game's important. Everybody's so close right now. We're all within 2 games of each other for the most part, so every game's important at this point for a playoff push.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
very beautiful rendition of the national anthem as this game is about ready to get underway here. And one other thing I would like to say is that I might also be joined by a guest color commentator here from the Pioneers tonight. Number 33, Kevin Noss, said he might be coming up and joining me tonight, so we'll have to wait and see. Currently waiting for the colors to be retired real quick. And now that they have been, this game is about ready to get going. And of course, it'll be number 77, Ryan Kinney, on the mound to start this game for the Muckdogs. He'll be the one warming up there that you guys are currently watching. And Granada will be leading off tonight for the Pioneers, as he almost always is. Pioneers, I think if they can get off to a hot start in terms of getting some hits, getting some base runners on, and scoring some runs early on in this game, I think the Pioneers have a really good chance. The Pioneers are really good at working with leads. When they have leads, they have a ton of confidence in their relievers and in their pitchers in order to keep those leads. They have not, knock on wood, blown any leads yet, really, that I can recall. So if the Pioneers can get up early, they're going to be in good shape tonight, and that's obviously going to be the goal for the Pioneers, and especially for the Bats. And a lot of the guys, especially the top of the order, Granada, Muzio, Schroeder, and Blake, have been really hot as of recently. So if those guys can get on against Kinney tonight early on, especially maybe even here in the top of the first inning, then it'd be really good start for the Pioneers. Of course, these two teams very familiar with one another, and this rivalry goes back even to last year, especially for a lot of the returners on the Pioneers. The Batavia Muckdogs were the team that beat the Pioneers in the first round of the playoffs last year to knock them out and to eliminate them. So obviously, every game that the Pioneers play against the Muckdogs comes with a little bit of extra emphasis. And so now, the third first pitch of the game is going to be thrown out here. It's delaying it a little bit as Kinney hasn't started to warm up yet. The rest of the outfield and infield has, and I'll quickly run through the Batavia Muckdogs defense here as we're waiting. It'll be DeStefano in left, Robinson in center, Lenham in right, Rodriguez at short, or Curry at second, Lopez over there at third, Trey Bacon will be at first, and Agresti will be behind the mound for the Muckdogs. Or excuse me, not behind the mound, behind home plate is what I meant to say. A fairly cool, crisp night here in Batavia. Some overcast. It was threatening to rain. It looks like there were some dark clouds overhead, but it has not, and I don't think it will for the rest of the night. It's not forecasted to, at least, unlike tomorrow in Elmira, but we'll talk about that later. So a very nice night for baseball here in Batavia as we're waiting for Kinney to get warmed up here, and then this game will be underway. Pioneers have been super hot as of late, 3 in a row, taking down Auburn, who they struggled against a couple games ago in back-to-back games, and then taking down Niagara, taking the lead in the season series against Niagara, 2-1 last night by shutting them out and getting revenge for a loss. They lost 14-1 to Niagara the last time that the Power were in Elmira, and so they avenged that loss last night, and now they are here tonight looking to make it 4 in a row and to take the lead in the season series against Batavia and to close in on that #1 spot that Batavia currently holds in the West Division standings. Like I said, leading off, it'll be #1, Matt Granado, making his 23rd start. He leads the team in games played. He has a .315 batting average, 18 runs, 23 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 9 RBIs, 15 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 10 stolen bases so far this season. He had 3 runs, 1 hit, and 3 walks last night against Niagara. That'll be a swing and a miss there on strike 1 and pitch 1 from Ryan Kinney. Kinney now as Granada will step in. 0-1 the count now as this game has officially gone underway. Kinney now will set, deliver. That one is called strike 2 right in there. So 0-2 the count to Kinney. Or excuse me, 0-2 the count to Granado. Kinney looking for his first strikeout here and the first batter of the ball game. 0-2, Kinney will set, deliver, swung on a driven right back to Kinney. Kinney will calmly walk over and tag Granado and shove him lightly off the base path. So that will be one away here. And a quick ground out from Granado to start the ball game. And now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman tonight. Muzio making his 12th start as the .314 batting average, 2 runs, 11 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 7 stolen bases. Joe Muzio was super hot last night. He was on fire. He had 1 run, 4 hits. He was 4 for 4. He had 2 RBIs and 1 stolen base last night as well. He is super hot. Let's see whether he can keep it going here. That will be ball 1 inside from Kinney. So 1-0 goes the count to Muzio. 1 out here in the top of the first. Kinney now. We're looking, set, deal, swung on a driven right field side. The right fielder let him, is going back for it, and he will make the play and right. Unfortunately, that one didn't quite have enough mustard to get all the way to the wall. So a line out for Muzio, and that'll put 2 outs on the board quickly for the Pioneers here in the top of the first. And so now that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher tonight. Schroeder making his 22nd start as a .292 batting average, 10 runs, 19 hits, 5 doubles, 3 triples, 8 RBIs, 15 walks, 16 Ks, and 6 stolen bases so far this season. Last night against Niagara, as that one is ball upstairs from Kinney, so ball 1, so 1-0 count to Schroeder. Last night against Niagara, Schroeder had 1 hit, 2 RBIs, and 1 walk in that one. 1-0 count now. 2 outs here. Kinney will set, deal. That one is outside ball 2. 2-0 the count to Schroeder as he takes lead in the count. 2 outs here still in the top of the first. Pioneers did something against Niagara that they haven't done very well this season, which was score with 2 outs on the board. And that'll be swung on a chop right back to Kinney weakly. Kinney will field it, throw over to Bacon in time. And so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Ryan Kinney to start the ballgame for the Muckdogs. And so no runs for the Pioneers. We go to the bottom of the first where it'll be Joseph Keltson on the mound right after this.
Now the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
I was actually a passenger on the bus. Sitting on the bus, I looked up and I saw.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the first inning here and still a 0-0 ball game between the Muckdogs and the Pioneers. It'll be Joseph Keltson, number 88, on the mound for the Pioneers to start this bottom of the first as he's getting the start tonight. So far, Keltson has made 3 appearances, getting his 3rd start tonight. In his first 2 starts, he has a 0.65 ERA, which I believe is actually the lowest on the Pioneers roster. Oh, no, actually, it's the 2nd lowest, only behind Braden Coletta. He's thrown for 13.2 innings pitched, only given up 15 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of those earned, 11 walks, and 8 strikeouts so far this season. He also has a 1-0 record. He's a 6'3", 195-pound right-handed pitcher at a Monte Vista Christian High School in his hometown of Watsonville, California. Last time we saw Keltson out was on the 30th at Jamestown, where he threw for 5 innings. He only gave up 1 run on 5 hits and had 4 strikeouts in that one. Keltson looking to go probably about the same as what he did against Jamestown. If he can go anywhere close to that performance as to what he had against Jamestown on the 30th, the Pioneers will be in good shape tonight. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I do have Keltson's arsenal, which is fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider. or the 4 pitches that he gave me that he'll be throwing tonight. And so I'll be keeping an eye out for those, trying to identify them to you guys as best I can. Leading off this inning for the Batavia Muckdogs here in the bottom of the first, it will be number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder tonight. Ledham, a familiar foe for the Pioneers. He started every game against the Pioneers so far this season. Kelton now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. I believe that might have been the slider that he went to on the first pitch. 0-1 the count to Ledham. Kelton sets deals. That one is down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-1 the count now as it evens up to Ledham here. No outs in the bottom of the first inning. Kelton now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 2. 1-2 the count now to Ledham. Kelton looking for his first strikeout here. 1-2. Kelton sets deals. That'll be a swung on and just chopped off the end of Ledham's bat. They're going to say he went. They're going to say he went, and Schroeder will go over there to Muzio first. It is a drop through strikeout for Josh Ledham. And so the first K for Kelton comes in his first batter, as that'll be 1 away here for him in the bottom of the first. A very good start for Kelton. And now that'll bring up number 36, Lucas Lopez, the third baseman tonight. Another familiar foe for the Pioneers. Batavia going with a lot of familiar faces in their lineup that the Pioneers have seen a couple times. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Kelton now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. Kelton's has been throwing a lot of strikes so far. It's a very good start to the ball game for him. 0-1 goes the count. 1 out here. Kelton will set deal. That one is just down low and inside, or excuse me, outside for ball 1. Kelton now will set deal. That one is upstairs and outside, ball 2. So 2-1 goes the count to Lopez as he will take the lead. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Kelton will set fire. Swung on a chop back foul by Lopez. And so the count now evens up 2-2. Kelton looking for back-to-back strikeouts here to put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the first. Kelton now will set fire. Swinging and it's chopped back foul by Lopez. He just caught the end of it off the end of his bat. Just caught a little piece of it just to keep himself alive. Count will stay 2-2 here. 1 out still in the bottom of the first. Kelton now will set, deliver. Swung on a driven left field side. The left fielder Charnetsky will go for it. However, it is well out of play into the Muckdogs dugout area, or excuse me, their bullpen area. So the count will stay 2-2 still to Lopez. Kelton now will set deal. That one is just down low and outside for ball 3. So now a big pitch coming up here for Kelton. 3-2 goes the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Kelton now will set, deliver. Swung on a driven right field side. It will be, excuse me, that'll be Levesque in right who will be fielding that. So that will be 2 outs here on the line out by Lopez. And so 2 outs on the board for Kelton. Kelton looking to equalize Kinney's 1-2-3 with 1-2-3 of his own. He's off to a good start. It's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and it'll be number 23, Adam Agresti, the catcher tonight, now up at the plate. Kelton now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Agresti. Kelton will set deal. That one is just down low and outside for ball 1. So now the count evens up 1-1 to Agresti. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Any out for Kelton will end the inning. Kelton 1-1 will set deal. That one is just down low, ball 2. He went pretty much to the same pitch in the same spot 3 straight times and only got the call 1 time. So 2-1 the count to Agresti as he takes the lead. Kelton now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 2. He got the call that time. 2-2 now the count. It's actually deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Kelson now set, steal, swung on it, popped up, right field side and foul. That was definitely the curveball. Kelson was trying to curve that one in there for called strike 3. Agresti able to foul that one off. So he'll still be alive, but it is a still 2-2 count. Kelson can pick up his second strikeout here. Kelson now will set, deliver. That will be swung on a driven left field side. Tronetsky going for it. He will not be able to get to it. It'll be off the wall. It'll be a double for Agresti with 2 outs here. So a stand-up double for Adam Agresti here. Puts a runner on second with 2 outs for the Muckdogs. And now that'll bring him number 45, Matt DeStefano, the left fielder tonight. DeStefano, a familiar foe for the Pioneers. Kelson not in too much trouble here, though. He should still hopefully be able to get out of this one. 2 outs on the board, so like I said, any out will end it for Kelson. Doesn't have to be a strikeout. Kelson looks over to Agresti, off of second, and now will set, fire. That one is a swing on a chop back foul, and so the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to DeStefano. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Runner on second in Agresti for the Muckdogs. Kelson now will set, fire, swung on it, weakly driven over to short of Basachi. Basachi will field it, throw to Musio in time. That will be the 3rd out of the inning. A ground out for DeStefano will end it. No runs for the Muckdogs in the bottom of the first. We go to the top of the second. Pioneers bats will try and break the deadlock here right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the second inning here in a still 0-0 ball game between the Pioneers and the Muckdogs. Ryan Kinney still on the mound for the Muckdogs here to start the top of the second. Leading off for the Pioneers this inning, it will be number 9, Aiden Blake, the extra hitter tonight. Blake so far this season making his 21st start, has a .281 at batting average, 9 runs, 18 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 12 RBIs, 7 walks, 22 strikeouts, and 4 stolen bases so far this season. Last time we saw Blake out was last night versus Niagara, where he had 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout, and 1 stolen base in that game. He had a little bit of everything. He'll be leading off here. Pioneers trying to look to get base runners after Ryan Kinney went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Pioneers looking to change that here and try and break this deadlock. Kinney now will set, deal, swung on a driven deep into center. It'll be Robinson who will be coming under it and will make the play. So fly out for Blake to start the top of the second here, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Kinney. And so now that'll bring up number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman tonight. Hernandez making his 17th start as a .228 batting average, 7 runs, 13 hits, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 2 homers. He leads the Pioneers in that category. 7 RBIs, 2 walks, 19 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base so far this season. Hernandez hit the first home run of the season for the Pioneers. That's count 0-1, as Hernandez swung and missed at that first pitch from Kinney. Hernandez, as I was saying, hit the first home run of the season here at the second game of the season here in Batavia. Kinney will set, deal, swing and a miss by Hernandez again. Count goes 0-2. 0-2 the count to Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Hernandez now will set, deliver. That one is, or excuse me, Kitty will set, deliver. That one is upstairs for ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Hernandez here. 1 out in the top of the second. Kinney now 1-2 will set, fire. That one is called. Strike 3. Hernandez goes down looking. That's the first strikeout for Ryan Kinney. And that'll put 2 outs here in the top of the second. And so now that'll bring him number 14, Jake Keller, the designated hitter tonight. Keller making his 14th start as a .244 batting average. 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 RBI, 5 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 2 stolen bases so far this season. Last night we saw him against Niagara where he had 1 hit and 1 walk. That one's outside, ball 1 from Kinney. So the count goes 1-0 to Keller. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Kinney now will set, deliver, swung on and chopped back foul by Keller, so the count will even up 1-1. 1-1 the count to Keller, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Kinney now, 1-1 will set, deal. That will be down low and outside for ball 2. Keller almost swung at that, but he didn't. He held back, and a good take there by Keller as he will take the lead in the count. 2-1 now. Kinney will set, deliver. That one is called, strike 2. So now the count will even up at deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the second. Kinney, 2-2. Will now set, fire, swung on and chopped over to short, and Rodriguez will turn to Bacon in time, and that will be another 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Kinney. No hits and no even base runners for the Pioneers. We go to the bottom of the second, where Joseph Kelton will be back on the mound right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the second inning here. Joseph Kelton back on the mound for the Pioneers here to start the bottom of the second. And leading off this inning for the Muckdogs, it'll be number 88, Giuseppe R. Curry, the second baseman tonight. And Curry, another familiar foe for the Pioneers. He started every game against the Pioneers so far this season. That one will be in there, called strike 1. That was a curveball pitch by Kelton. Crowd does not like the call. However, it is 0-1 anyway. 0-1 the count now. Kelton will set, fire. That one is outside, ball 1. So 1-1 the count now to our Curry. No outs in the bottom of the second. Thunderstick night here at Batavia. So a lot of noise as our Curry pops that one up into shallow center. Montagna will come under it and make the play. So pop out for our Curry will make it 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. A very nice start for Kelton. And now that'll bring up number 2, Christian Bernardini. Quite a name there. The extra hitter tonight. He's the one new face for the Muckdogs. in terms of the lineup. We've seen everyone else in the Muckdogs lineup before in previous Pioneer Muckdogs matchups. Bernardari will be the one new player. And that one is outside ball one from Kelson. So 1-0 the count to Bernardari. Or Bernardini. Bernardini. Excuse me. Kelson sets, deals down with a swing, chopped up to Montagna. Montagna will field it, throw to Musio in time, and that will be 2 away. A quick 2 outs here for Kelson. A very nice start to the bottom of the second inning. So now that'll bring up number 4, Trey Bacon, the first baseman tonight. Bacon now will come up, another familiar foe. We've seen Bacon do a couple different roles for the Muckdogs in the past. He's playing first tonight. Kelson now with 2 outs will set, deliver. That one will be outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Bacon. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Kelson now will set, deliver. That one is just down low and outside ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Bacon. He has a nice lead here. Kelson needs a pitch to get back into the count here. Kelson 2-0 will now set, deliver. That one is called, strike 1. 2-1 the count to Bacon here. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Not only swung on it, popped up right field side. Everybody going for it, and it will be not able to be caught. Levesque was sprinting for it. However, he just ran out of room. That one was over by the fences in right. So the count will now even up 2-2 to Bacon here with 1 out. Or excuse me, with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. The scoreboard only says 1, but I know that there's 2. So scoreboard is wrong. And so 2-2 still the count to Bacon here with 2 outs on the board. There it is. So now it finally shows Deuces Wild. Scoreboard caught up. Kelson 2-2 set, steals. That one is in there. Call, strike 3. He struck him out. That was a beautiful curveball to get the punch out for Kelson. And that'll be 2 strikeouts for Kelson. And that will end the bottom of the second inning. No runs for the Muckdogs in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third right after this.
I firmly believe that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the third inning. Ryan Kinney still on the mound for the Muckdogs here to start the top of the third. Leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 42 for the first time this season. 42, Nick Montagna, the second baseman. He's normally 40. He forgot his jersey, so he's wearing Spencer Robbins' jersey tonight. So he's 42 for the night. Let's see whether that can maybe give him some extra luck here against Kinney. Kinney now will set, deal, swung on a driven in the center, and Robinson will come under it and make the play. Unfortunately, that was straight to Robinson, and so that'll be 1 out here in the top of the third. So far, Kinney has gone 1-2-3, 1-2-3 in the first 2 innings. He could be off to a really good start if he can get another 1-2-3 inning here, and he's already got 1 out. And so now that'll bring up number 30, Cam Levesque, the right fielder tonight. Levesque was making his 10th start as Kinney fires. That one is inside ball 1. Levesque making his 10th start as a 200 batting average, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 RBI, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts so far this season. Levesque was granted time, so he stepped out for a moment. Will now step back in. Kinney now sets, fires. That one is down low and outside. Ball 2. So 2-0 the count now to Levesque. 1 out here in the top of the third. Vec now was granted time momentarily. Will now step back in. 2-0. Kinney will set fire. Swung on a driven in the left center field. That might drop. Robinson unfortunately comes across and robs Levesque of a hit. That'll be another fly out here. And that'll put 2 outs on the board. Robinson had to stretch out to make that play in left center. Unfortunately, that one just couldn't quite get down for Levesque. So now 2 outs here in the top of the third. Kinney 1 out away from going 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3 to start this ball game. It'll now be number 22, Nick Bisaccia, the shortstop tonight at the plate. That one will be in there. Call strike 1 from Kinney. 0-1 the count. Bisaccia making his 10th start. Has a 0.091 batting average, and that one will be in there. Called strike 2. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 double, 2 RBIs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 1 stolen base so far this season for Bisaccia. Last time we saw him out was on the 6th versus Auburn, where he had 2 strikeouts, and that is a strikeout there from Bisaccia to end the top of the third inning. Ryan Kinney, 1-2-3 through the first 3 innings for the Muckdogs. What a performance. We go to the bottom of the third. Pioneers and Kelton will look to do the same right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the third inning here. Joseph Kelton back on the mound for the Pioneers here. He's been almost flawless so far, only given up 1 hit so far. Other than that, he's gotten 2 Ks and all outs. And so leading off this inning for the Muckdogs, it'll be number 27, James Acelta. The designated hitter tonight. Acelta, another familiar face for the Pioneers to be going up against. Kelton now will set fire. That one is down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Acelta. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Kelton now will set fire. Swung on and a miss there, actually, by Acelta. I thought he popped that one out for a second. However, he completely whiffed on it. So 1-1 now goes the count to Acelta. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Kelton now will set deal. That one is in there. Called strike 2. That was a nice curveball from Kelton. 1-2 goes the count to Acelta. Kelton looking for back-to-back strikeouts. It would be his 3rd of the night here if he could pick one up against Acelta. Kelton now. 1-2 sets, fires. That one is way outside for ball 2. So count now evens up at 2-2 here. Still no outs in the bottom of the third. Kelton now, 2-2, will set, deals, check swing, and it'll be down low. The first base umpire will rule it safe. So now that means the count will fill up 3-2 to Acelta. Big pitch coming up here for Kelton. He does not want to give up his first walk of the night here with no outs on the board in the bottom of the third inning. Kelton now will set, fire, swung on to driven into center. It's lined straight to Granado, and he will make the play. And so that'll be 1 out here in the bottom of the third for Kelton. Another straight line out to the center fielder. There have been a couple of those tonight for both sides. And so now that'll bring up number 32, Rashad Robinson, the center fielder tonight. Robinson will now be stepping in to face Kelton here. 1 out on the board for Kelton in the bottom of the third inning. Kelson now will set, deal. That one is outside and upstairs for ball 1. So 1-0 the count now to Robinson as he takes the lead. Kelson now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 1. That was a nice pitch there by Kelson. Count now evens up at aces wild. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson now will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count out of Robinson. Kelson looking for his 3rd strikeout here on this 1-2 count to Robinson. Kelson now will set, fire, swung on a driven left field side, but foul and out of play. So the count will stay 1-2 to Rashad Robinson. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson 1-2 will now set, fire, swung on a popped up right field side. That one is also going to be well out of play into the Pioneers bullpen area. And so count will stay 1-2. Kelson now 1-2 still. Will set, fire, swung on a chopped third base side and foul. Robinson caught that off the bottom of his bat. He overswung it. And so the count will stay still 1-2 here. 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson now 1-2 will set, fire. That one is just upstairs. Called ball 2. I thought that was going to be a punch out there for Kelson. Just couldn't quite get the call. So the count now evens up at 2-2 here to Robinson. Kelson will set, fire, swing and a miss. He struck him out. That is the 3rd strikeout for Joseph Kelson. And that'll put 2 outs here on the board for him in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And now that'll bring up number 7, Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop tonight. Rodriguez will step in here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson now will set, fire, swung on a chop back, foul, right field side, and it'll go out of play. So 0-1 goes the count to Robinson here. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson now 0-1 will set, fire. That one is down low and outside for ball 1. So count now evens up 1-1 to Rodriguez here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Kelson now 1-1 will set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike 2. Nice pitch there by Kelson. Crowd grumbling about the call, but Kelson still got it anyway. 1-2. Kelson looking for back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. 1-2. Kelson now sets, deal, swung on a driven 3rd base side. That'll be a foul ball. It is just foul of the 3rd base line. A very close call there. That was lucky for Kelson, as that would have been at least a double for Rodriguez. However, the count will stay 1-2. Kelson can pick up his 4th strikeout here to end the bottom of the 3rd inning. Kelson was the strikeout leader in the state of California this past year. Just graduated from Monte Vista Christian High School. And is now pitching for the Pioneers. 1-2 the count. Skins. That one will be outside from Kelson. So the count will even up at deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Kelson still looking for that 4th strikeout here. Kelson now 2-2 will set, fire. That one is upstairs and outside. So 3-2 goes the count. A big pitch coming up here for Kelson. Looking to go 1-2-3 in this inning. Kelson now 3-2. Will set, deliver, swing and a miss. He struck him out. That is the 4th strikeout for Joseph Kelson. And that will end the bottom of the 3rd inning. It was 1-2-3 for top. We go to the top of the fourth, still a 0-0 ball game. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 4th inning here. Ryan Kinney still on the mound for the Muckdogs, and it'll be number 24, Eric Charnetsky, leading off for the Pioneers to start this top of the 4th inning. The left fielder tonight. Kinney now will set, deliver. That is going to be a hit by pitch walk on the first pitch from Kinney. And so a runner on first for the Pioneers, the first base runner for the Pioneers tonight to lead off here in the top of the 4th. A very good start. And now with the top of the lineup up, as we go back to the top of the lineup in number 1, Matt Granado, the center fielder tonight, who grounded out in his first at-bat. If the top of the lineup can get a couple hits here, the Pioneers have a chance to break the deadlock here. That was a very big break there by Kinney. It's the first base runner he's given up, so he's been flawless so far. Finally, a little bit of a chink in his armor. Pioneers looking to expose it. Kinney now will set, deliver, swung on a driven third base side. The third baseman having trouble fielding it. Charnetsky will be safe at second. However, Granado will ground out. The third baseman, Lopez, had really some trouble handling that off of Granado's bat. So that will be 1 out here in the top of the 4th, but a runner in scoring position for the first time for the Pioneers with Eric Charnetsky over there in second. And now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman tonight, who flew out in his first at-bat. Muzio coming off of a 4-for-4 night. If he can create good contact and just simply put it in the right spot, he can continue that streak tonight. Kinney now looks over to Charnetsky at second. And now we'll set, deliver. That one is called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Muzio. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Now Agresti going over there to talk with Kinney. Briefly, just a quick word. And now we'll come back and get reset. Charnetsky having some words with Giuseppe Arcuri over there at second. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. 0-1 the count to Muzio. Charnetsky will retake his lead. Kinney looks over that way, and now we'll set, fire. Swung and a miss there by Muzio on a pitch that was down low in the dirt. 0-2 goes the count to Muzio. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. So far this game has been nothing short of a pitcher's duel. Kelson and Kinney trading 1, 2, 3 innings. 0-2 the count. Kinney will set, deal, swing and a miss. And that's going to be a drop through strike, and Muzio will be thrown out. And so that'll be a strikeout for Kinney. Only his 3rd of the night, but that will put 2 outs here in the top of the 4th for the Muckdogs. So neither team being able to do anything offensively. And now still, that'll bring up number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher tonight, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Schroeder does have sneaky power for his bat. I think he's one of the guys who doesn't have a home run yet for the Pioneers, but could get one. And what a moment it would be to break this deadlock here. Kinney now set, steal. That one is going to be a take there by Schroeder. That was down low, a good take by Schroeder, so the count will go 1-0 to him. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Charnetsky still off of second for the Pioneers. Kinney 1-0. Looks over to Char, and now we'll set, deal. That one is upstairs and outside, ball 2. That one almost got away from Agresti. But just barely got up to catch that one. If he had gotten by him, Charnetsky would have been able to go over to third. 2-0 the count to Schroeder. Kinney will set, deal. That is a swing and a miss by Schroeder. So the count goes 2-1 here now. Still 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Kinney looks over to Charnetsky, and now we'll set, deal. Swung on it, popped up left field side and way out of play. So now the count will even up at deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Big pitch coming up for Kinney. Looks over to Charnetsky off second. And now we'll set, deliver, swung on a driven, and it's fly out into right, and it'll be Ledham who comes under it, and actually it will be Robinson who catches it. Fly out for for Schroeder to end the inning. No runs once again for the Pioneers as they strand Charnetsky on second. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still a 0-0 ball game. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 4th inning here in a still tied 0-0 ball game. It's been all zeros on the scoreboard, and there have been very few flaws in either pitcher's resume so far tonight. It's been very impressive to see from both Kelson and Kinney. And speaking of Kelson, he'll be on the mound for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 4th. And leading off this inning for the Batavia Muckdogs, it'll be number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat against Kelson earlier in the ball game. This game is the epitome of a pitcher's duel so far, as neither team has been able to really do anything at all. Kelson has given up the only hit of the ball game for either squad. That was a double to Adam Agresti. However, other than that, he has been flawless. Kelson now will step in and set deal. That one is just inside ball one. I'm surprised that was not a strike. 1-0 the count to Ledham. Kelson now will set deal. That one is upstairs, ball two. 2-0 the count here to Ledham. Kelson needs a pitch here to get back in the count. Kelson 2-0. Will now set, deliver. That one is in there. Called strike one. That was a fastball from Kelson. 2-1 goes the count. Kelson now 2-1. Will set, deal, swing and a miss. And Kelson led him to go fishing on that one, and he came up empty. 2-2 the count. That was I believe it was a slider outside. Kelson 2-2 set, steals, popped up left field side. Charnetsky will come in on it, and he will make the play in left, and that will be a fly out for Ledham to put one out here on the board for Kelson to start the bottom of the 4th. And now that'll bring up number 36, Lucas Lopez, the third baseman tonight. Lopez lined out in his first at-bat. One out here in the bottom of the 4th. Kelson now, as Lopez has stepped into the box. Kelson will set, deal, swung on it, driven. Weeks to Muzio at first. Muzio fields it, throws to Kelson at first, and he gets the tag out in time. A great play by Kelson to catch it barehanded from Muzio, and that will be 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 quick outs for Kelson here to start the bottom of the 4th. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. It'll be number 23, Adam Agresti, the man who has to get out, the catcher tonight, who doubled. And the only hit in the ball game so far for either team goes to that double to Agresti that he had in his first at-bat. He'll now be at the plate. Kelson looking to even up the record. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Kelson now will set, deal. That one is just down low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Agresti. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Kelson now, 1-0, will set, deliver, swung on it, popped up, shallows right center, Granado coming under it, and will make the play. And that will end the inning. 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3 inning for Joseph Kelson in the bottom of the 4th. Still no score from either side. We go to the top of the 5th right after this.
This is what we do here at Transdev.
Have a nice day.
It's not a job that you gotta drag yourself out of bed to get here. You wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
back to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 5th inning here already. This game has been nothing but a pitching exhibition so far. Neither team being able to do anything on offense. Pioneers looking to snap that streak here in the top of the 5th. As leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 9, Aiden Blake, the extra hitter tonight. He flew out in his first at-bat against Kinney, who is still on the mound for the Muckdogs earlier in the ballgame. So Blake will step in now to face Kinney for the second time. Kinney now will set, fire, swung on a driven straight to the shortstop. And shortstop Rodriguez will field it over to Bacon in time, and that will be one away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Ryan Kinney here to start the top of the 5th. And the offenseless streak continues. And now that'll bring him number 47, Ray Hernandez, the third baseman tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat. Hernandez, the one guy on this Pioneers roster that definitely has home run power. He leads the Pioneers with 2 home runs on the season. It'd be great if he could hit one here. That'll be a swing and a miss, and not such a great start, as that was once again a ball down low that Hernandez swung and missed at. So 0-1 the count out of Hernandez. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Kinney now will set, deal, swing and a miss there again by Hernandez. Count goes 0-2 now. Going to the count, Hernandez, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Kinney now will set, deliver. That'll be check swing, foul. They're going to say he was called out. Hernandez is arguing the call. That'll be a drop-through strikeout for Hernandez, so 2 strikeouts already for Hernandez. And now that'll bring on number 14, Jake Keller, the designated hitter tonight, with now 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Hernandez did not like the call. However, he argued it, but call stands. So 2 outs here now in the top of the 5th. Keller grounded out in his first at-bat against Kinney, who will now step back in. Now the umpire is writing up maybe Hernandez. Hernandez might be gone. We're waiting to see here. Number 44, Chris Barrett's headed over to the clubhouse area. I don't know whether he's been ejected or not. I think he has been. Now the umpire talking with Hernandez a little bit and going over there to the dugout. And so Hernandez, I do believe, looks like he's still over there. So I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Bear was the one that ran. It looks like he's all the way in the clubhouse. So it looks like Bear got ejected for number 44. And so now the umpire is still waiting here. Not sure what the delay is. Keller's still over there. Umpire's still waiting, and now it looks like Hernandez is done. Hernandez has been ejected from the ball game. He is done for the night. He's taken all of his stuff back over to the Pioneers clubhouse, so he is done. And that is not a good thing for the Pioneers. He's the #1 guy with home run power, so not a great start. We'll have to see who is pinch hitting. It might actually be Bear who is going to be pinch hitting for Hernandez now. I think that's why actually Bear. So I don't think Bear got ejected. I think Bear is actually going over to get his stuff. Hernandez is definitely ejected. However, it'll be still Keller at the plate here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Kinney now will set, deal. That one is upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Keller here. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Kinney 1-0 set, steals. That one is outside. 2-0 goes the count to Keller. Keller takes the lead. 2-0. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Kinney now will set, deliver. That one will be called strike 1. Fastball down low in the zone. So 2-1 goes the count to Keller here. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Kinney will set, deal. Swung on that shot back. foul by Keller, right field side and out of play. And I believe my suspicions are confirmed. I do believe it will be Chris Bear who will be coming in to pinch hit for Hernandez the next time the rotation comes around. However, the count is currently 2-2-2, so deuce is wild to Keller here in the top of the 5th. Kinney now 2-2 will set, deliver. That one will be outside, so count now goes full. 3-2 the count to Keller here. Keller, it would be nice if he could draw a walk just to get someone on base for the Pioneers. They've only had one. Each team has only had one base runner so far in this ball game. Kinney, 3-2 set, steals that one. Will be called strike 3. Keller was walking away, and the umpire brought him back. That is back-to-back Ks for Ryan Kinney to end the top of the 5th inning. Once again, no runs for the Pioneers in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 5th, and my suspicions were confirmed. The guy who's going to be replacing Ray Hernandez after his ejection will be number 44, Chris Bear. So he'll be taking over for Hernandez. Over there at third now. Bear, the most recent addition to the Pioneers lineup. However, he has been pretty good for the Pioneers so far in his first couple starts. But right now, it is Joseph Kelson on the mound for the Pioneers here to start the top of the bottom of the 5th, excuse me. And it'll be number 45, Matt DeStefano, the left fielder tonight, leading off for the Muckdogs. DeStefano grounded out in his first at-bat earlier in the ballgame against Kelson. Still nothing but zeros on the scoreboard for both teams. It's been an amazing pitcher's exhibition. That one will be ball outside for ball 1 from Kelson. I don't know if either team even needs to go to another pitcher at this point. Both of them have been so good tonight. Kelson 1-0 will set deal. That one is outside. 2-0 goes the count now to DeStefano. Kelson needs a pitch to get back in the count here. He's worked his way back from 2-0 a couple times, so it's not overly concerning. 2-0 in the count. Kelson will set deal. That one is down low and outside. 3-0 goes the count now. Kelson trying not to give up his first walk of the night here to DeStefano and to put a base runner on with no outs in the bottom of the 5th. Kelson now will set, deliver. That one will be in there, called strike 1. A nice pitch there by Kelson to get back in the count. So 3-1 goes the count to DeStefano. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Kelson now will set, deliver. Swung on it, popped up right field side, and it will be foul, curving towards the Pioneers bullpen. And so the count will now go full 3-2. Kelson has been able to work his way back from 3-0 to now 3-2. Kelson, if he can pick up a strikeout here, it'd be massive. 3-2. Kelson will set deal. Swung on a chop back foul. Right field side and out of play. And so the count will stay 3-2. Still another big pitch coming up here for Kelson. If Kelson picks up a strikeout here, it'd be his 5th of the night. 3-2 the count. Kelson now sets, delivers, swing on it, driven. A weakly to short. Passace fields a throw to Muzio in. Not quite in time. DeStefano will be safe at first. Muzio had to come off the bag for a moment in order to get that throw from Passace. It was a little bit high, so That'll be a base hit single for DeStefano to lead off for the Muckdogs here. And now that'll bring up number 88, Giuseppe Arcuri, the second baseman tonight, who popped out in his first at-bat against Kelton earlier in the ballgame. So runner on first here with no outs in the bottom of the fifth for the Muckdogs. Kelton now will set deal. That one is going to be upstairs. Called ball one, and Arcuri showed bunt on that first pitch. The infield is definitely in. Bear is in at third. Muzio in at first. 1-0 the count to Arcuri. No outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Kelton now will check over to first, and DeStefano. DeStefano is safe over there at first, so no outs. It's still 1-0 to Arcuri. He'll step back into the batter's box. Kelton looks over to DeStefano again at first. And now we'll set fire. That one is in there. That is not a called strike. Wow. I'm surprised that was not a strike there. That looked like a strike in the top of the zone. 2-0 goes the count to Arcuri. Kelton now 2-0. We'll check back over to DeStefano, and he will be safe once again over there at first. Muzio got a tag down pretty quick, but not quite in time. 2-0 the count to Arcuri. No outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Kelton looks over to DeStefano again off first. Kelton now sets deal. Swung on a driven third base side. That'll be a base hit for Arcuri, and that'll just be a single as they'll be held up by Charnetsky and left. So back-to-back singles here for the Muckdogs. This is the most offense that either team has had throughout the ball game. This is the first time that either team has had multiple base runners on at a single point. And so now that'll bring up Christian Bernardini. Bernardini, the extra hitter tonight. He grounded out in his first at-bat. Kelton in a little bit of trouble here with no outs on the board and two base runners. Needs some outs. Double play is available if Bernardini can ground out to Bisaccia at short. Montagna all the way. Really, really close to Muzio at first. Kelton now will set deal. That one will be outside ball one. Bernardini did square for bunt on that first pitch attempt. One another count to Bernardini here. No outs still in the bottom of the fifth. Kelton now will set deal. That is going to be a bunt laid down, and Muzio will go to first, and Montagna, that will be one away. So that'll be a ground out for Bernardini here to put one out on the board in the bottom of the fifth, but the runners do advance. So it's runners on second and third with one out here in the bottom of the fifth, and now it'll be number 4, Trey Bacon, the first baseman, up at the plate for the Muckdogs here. He struck out in his first at-bat, and that's exactly what Kelton needs, or a ground out. Infield very much inning right here, as all of them are very close to the infield grass, expecting a bunt by Bacon. Kelton now will set, deliver. That one will be outside for ball one. 1-0 count to Bacon, one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Bacon did not square on that pitch. Infield still in. Kelton now will set, deliver. That one will be down low, called ball two. 2-0 the count to Bacon here. Kelton really needs to get back in this count. He really does not want to walk Bacon here, as they would load the bases for the Muckdogs. Kelton now 2-0 sets, delivers. That one is in there, called strike one. That was the exact pitch Kelton needed to get back in the count. So 2-1 the count to Bacon here. One out in the bottom of the fifth. This is a big at-bat for Kelton. Looks like, I believe that is Connor Lutz over there starting to warm. That one will be called strike two. That was a massive pitch there by Kelton to now even up the count 2-2 to Bacon. Kelton, this would be a huge fifth strikeout here to put two outs on the board. Kelton now 2-2. Will now set, deliver, swung on a driven, weaks into the gap. That'll score one, that'll score two. Charnetsky will throw home, not in time. That'll score 2 runs off an RBI single by Bacon. And the Pioneers down 2 runs in this one. Not what they were looking for. Kjeldson's been so good up to this point. And now gave up an RBI double that scored 2 runs. So the deadlock has been broken, but not the way the Pioneers wanted it to be broken. And so now that'll bring up number 27, James Celta, the Division A hitter tonight. Lined out in his first at bat. And the infield was so far in, expecting bunt, that it just got by both of the infielders. And it got into the gap. If the infielders were in normal position, they might have been able to stop that. Kjeldson will grab that and turn to first in time. That will be a ground out for Celta on the first pitch. So that'll put 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, but damage already done for the Muckdogs here. And so the Pioneers are not been the best with coming back from deficits, and especially not here in Batavia. And so really, Pioneers are going to have to get the bats going, and soon. Kjeldson now will have to face number 32, Rashad Robinson, the center fielder tonight, who struck out in his first at-bat, and that'll be a swung on. Weakly driven to Montagna at second. He will turn to Muzio well in time. That'll be a ground out to end the bottom of the 5th. However, damage done. An RBI double given up by Kjeldson will score 2 runs for the Muckdogs as they lead it 2-0. We go to the top of the 6th right after this.
And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It is the top of the 6th inning. I don't know why I changed that. The top of the 6th inning, need to trust my gut. It'll be Ryan Kinney still on the mound for the Muckdogs here. They do have a pitcher warming in the bullpen. And it'll be number 42, Nick Montagna, the second baseman tonight, leading off. He lined out in his first at-bat. Pioneers need to get the bats going here in this inning as they are down 2 runs after an RBI double from Trey Bacon. And a delay here as the kids run just happened, and now the final kid being escorted off. Kinney now will set, deliver. That one will be down low and inside, ball 1. It looked like it slipped out of Kinney's hand. Count will go 1-0 to Montagna. Pioneers will take anything they can get at this point. They need just base runners. Kinney will set, deal. That one will be in there. Call strike 1. 1-1 now the count to Montagna as it evens up. No outs here on the top of the 6th. Kinney now 1-1, sets, deals. That one will be down low and outside, ball 2. That one got by Agresti. So 2-1 goes the count to Montagna here as he takes the lead. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Kinney 2-1 will set deal. That one is called strike 2. Count now evens up at 2-2 to Montagna. No outs here in the top of the 6th. This would be 3 straight strikeouts for Kinney if he can pick it up here against Montagna. Kinney now sets, steals. That one is upstairs. Ball 3. So 3-2 goes the count to Montagna. Big pitch coming up here for Kinney. Pioneers would love if Montagna can draw a walk, is they just need base runners at this point. They've only had one the entire ball game. 3-2 Kinney sets, steals. That one will be called strike 3. Montagna goes down looking, and that'll be third K in a row for Ryan Kinney. And that'll put one out here in the top of the 6th, and that'll bring up number 30, Kamala Vec. The left fielder, or excuse me, the right fielder tonight. He flew out in his first at-bat. Will now step in to face Kinney here. Kinney now will set deal. That one will be down low and outside. Ball 1. 1-0 goes the count to Levesque. One out here in the top of the 6th. Kinney now 1-0 set steals. That'll be swung on. That will be a line out to the shortstop. And Rodriguez, the Pioneers just can't catch a break right now. And so that'll be 2 outs in the top of the 6th. And now what the Pioneers were looking for in this inning. Pioneers, they have been averaging about 3 runs a game. They broke that streak with 5 runs last night against Niagara, but on the road they have not had the best of successes with getting a ton of runs. So that's why they really are looking to try and get the bats going in this inning. However, that has not been the case against Kinney so far in the top of the 6th. They're 2 outs. And now that'll bring up number 22, Nick Bisaccia, the shortstop tonight, who struck out in his first at-bat. And it's 0-1 the count as that one was swung on a foul right field side by Bisaccia. Kinney will set deal. That'll be swung on down the third base line. Fielded by Lopez. Lopez will turn to Bacon in time. And that'll end the inning. Pioneers do absolutely nothing in the top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th right after this. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 6th inning here. Pioneers down 2-0 after doing nothing in the top of the 6th inning. And it'll be Joseph Keltson still on the mound for the Pioneers here to start the bottom of the 6th. And leading off this inning for the Muckdogs, excuse me, it'll be number 7, Caleb Rodriguez. The shortstop tonight, he struck out in his first at-bat earlier in the ballgame. Keltson now will set deal. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Rodriguez. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Keltson 0-1 set steal. Swung on and chopped back foul by Rodriguez, and the count quickly goes 0-2 now. Keltson looking for what would be his 5th strikeout of the night here if he can pick it up on this 0-2 count to Rodriguez. Keltson now set steals. That one is outside and down low, ball 1. So 1-2 the count now to Rodriguez. No outs in the bottom of the 6th. It looks like it is Connor Lutz warming up in the bullpen for the Pioneers. Keltson will set deal. That'll be swung on. That'll be a base hit in the left. And a single for Rodriguez. A blooper over Bisaccia's head. Nothing he can do. It was well over his head. And so another leadoff single here with no outs in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Muckdogs. And Lutz might need to warm up a little bit quicker. And so now we go to the top of the Muckdogs lineup at number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder. Struck out in his first at-bat and flew out in his second at-bat. Keltson's been so good tonight. He was almost flawless through 5, and then as soon as he got to the bottom of the 5th, everything turned upside down. Kelson will set deal. That one is outside, ball 1 to Ledham. 1-0 the count. Kelson looks over there to Rodriguez at first. And now we'll set fire. That one is just down low. Ball 2. 2-0 the count to Ledham here. No out still in the bottom of the 6th. And a runner on first already in Rodriguez for the Muckdogs. Kelson will check over to first, and it got by Muzio for a moment. Rodriguez falls down, and so he'll be still safe over there at first. Rodriguez taking a moment to collect himself here. He'll still be safe over there at first. It's still a 2-0 count to Ledham once he steps back into the box. Kelson 2-0 sets fires. That one is in there. Called strike 1. 2-1 the count now to Ledham. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rodriguez still over there at first. Kelson sets deal. Swung on and shot back foul. And the count will now even up 2-2. Kelson, it'd be a big strikeout here if he can pick up his 5th one here against Ledham to put an out on the board in the bottom of the 6th. Kelson 2-2 now. And now we'll set deal. Swung on and driven. Weak over to Versace. Will turn to second. Throw to first in time. That will be a 6-3 double play. And there will be 2 outs here. A great play there by Versace to tag up at second and throw to Muzio at first. And that'll put 2 outs on the board for the Pioneers and Joseph Kelson now. And so now that'll bring him number 36, Lucas Lopez, the third baseman. Lined out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Kelson now only needs 1 more out to get out of this inning with no damage. Kelson upstairs for ball 1, so 1-0 goes the count to Lopez. Lopez lined out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Lutz still warming over there for the Pioneers. Kelson will set deal. That one will be just down low and inside for ball 1. Or excuse me, ball 2. So 2-0 the count to Lopez. Kelson has just not gotten lucky with some of the calls. Kelson 2-0 sets deals. That one is outside. Ball 3. 3-0 goes the count to Lopez. And Kelson looking to get back into this count. Or maybe force some weak contact here. Kelson 3-0 will set deal. That one will be in there. Called strike 1. So 3-1 the count to Lopez. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Kelson 3-1 will set deliver. That one will be upstairs. Ball 4. So that'll be a walk for Lucas Lopez. That is actually the first walk of the night given up by Kelson. Like I said, he's been very, very good tonight. And then just had that fluke inning in the bottom of the 5th. And it looks like Coach Eugene is coming out to talk with Kelson. Kelson, it doesn't look like he's going to be done. Lutz is still warming, but I think Coach Eugene might be buying some time for Lutz to finish warming up. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, so Kelson still only needs 1 more to get himself out of the inning. It'll be number 23, Adam Agresti, the catcher, up at the plate once this mound meeting is over. He doubled in his first at-bat and then flew out in his second at-bat. And yes, Kelson will still be on the mound, and now all the infielders and even, or no, just the infielders, never mind. I thought I saw 24 Charnetsky over there also talking, but no, it's just going to be the infielders discussing with Kelson. And so, discussion's over now. And so, Agresti will now step in. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Kelton now leans in to Schroeder. And now we'll set, deliver. That one is outside for ball 1. And Schroeder's going to gets past Muzio. Levesque in right's going to cut it off and not throw. So it is going to be actually an error there on a 1-0 count. It was a bad throw by Schroeder over to Muzio at first. And so that'll be an error that allows Lopez to go over to second now. So runner in scoring position for the Muckdogs here. And so a 1-0 count to Agresti. Kelton now 1-0. Looks over to Lopez. And now we'll set, deliver. Swung on it, popped up right field side. And fouling out of play. Count will even up at 1-1 now. Still 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, so any out ends the inning for Kelton, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lutz comes in after this inning for the Pioneers. Kelton, 1-1, looks over to Lopez. And now we'll set, deal. Lopez is going to try and steal third. That is swung on and driven to the left. Charnetsky's going back all the way at the wall, off the top of the wall. That'll score Lopez. That'll be a double for Agresti, and the Pioneers are now down 3 runs. And that one was almost a homer. That one was about a foot away from being a home run for Agresti. As it stands, it's a double. And so Pioneers in even more trouble here now, as they have struggled to get more than 3 runs in a ball game, and they haven't been able to touch Kinney all night. So really, Pioneers have to make something happen in the top of the 7th. If they don't, it's going to be very tough for them to win this ball game. Even with this, Kelton has been superb tonight. It's just the Pioneers, with their lack of offensive prowess, even a night like this where Kelton's been so good and only gives up 3 runs, it's still probably maybe not good enough for the Pioneers to get a win, just because they can't score any runs. And so that's just the way the season's gone for the Pioneers. They've had to rely on elite pitching. And Kelton's been elite tonight, but it's just 3 runs might be just enough for the Muckdogs to get a win, just because the Pioneers have been struggling to get more than 3 runs in a single game. And they haven't done anything tonight. And I will say, when the Pioneers have gotten those 3-run games, and even the 5-run game last night, they've started out with some runs early on. They have not been able to get any tonight off Kinney. And so trying to come up and score 4 runs in the last couple innings of a ball game does not bode well for the Pioneers. 1-2 the count to DeStefano, who's at the plate. 2 outs here. Kelton will set, deal. Swung on a driven into right. Levesque going back for it and will make the play. So that will end the bottom of the 6th. But Kelton gives up another run, and now I'll have to see whether the Pioneers can answer. They need an answer desperately here as we go to the top of the 7th right after this. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 7th inning here, and the Pioneers in desperate need of offensive anything, to be quite frank. They haven't gotten a hit so far tonight. The only base runner that they've had has been a hit by pitch walk given up by Ryan Kinney. They haven't touched Kinney all night. Kinney has just been dicing up this Pioneers lineup. And that is a 1-0 count to Eric Charnetsky, who is the only base runner who's been on for the Pioneers tonight. He got on by the hit by a pitch that he suffered in his first at-bat. 1-0 the count to Charnetsky. No outs here on the top of the 7th. Kinney deals. That one is in there. Called strike 1. So count now evens up to Charnetsky. 1-1. No outs here on the top of the 7th. Kinney now sets, delivers, swung on a driven third base side. That is going to be fielded by Lopez. Lopez will turn to Bacon in time, and that will be one away. And that's the way it's gone for the Pioneers. A lot of ground outs, a lot of weak contact tonight, and they have not been able to get any breaks. And so that'll be one out here in the top of the 7th, and now that'll bring up at least the top of the order for the Pioneers. So if there's any sort of chance that the Pioneers are going to be able to get back into this game, the top of the order is going to have to do something, and it has to start with the leadoff man. Number 1 is center fielder Matt Granado, as he will step in. Kinney will be upstairs and inside for ball 1. So far tonight, Granado has grounded out twice in his first 2 at-bats. 1 out here now in the top of the 7th. 1-0 the count to Granado. Kinney now will set, deliver. Swung on it, popped up, right field side and out of play. So count goes 1-1, and it evens up now to Granado. Actually, it goes aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. He now 1-1 will set, deal. That one will be in there. Called strike 2. 1-2 the count to Granado. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Kinney 1-2 will set, deal. That one will be upstairs. Ball 2. So 2-2 the count out of Granado as it evens up. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Granado just looking to get on base at this point. I mean, Pioneers have had only 1 base runner this entire game. They just need to get something. 2-2. Kinney now will set, deliver. That'll be inside ball 3. Granado had to step out of the way of that one. So full count here and a chance for Granado to draw a walk. It would be the first 4-pitch, 4-ball walk given up by Kinney all night. Like I said, he's just been dicing this Pioneers lineup. They haven't been able to touch him. 3-2. Kinney sets, deals. That'll be swung on weak off the bat to the second baseman. Second baseman barely fields it, but he will still turn it over to Bacon in time, and that'll be the 3rd ground out for Granado of the night. And that'll put 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And now that'll bring up number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman tonight. He flew out in his first at-bat and struck out in his second at-bat. And Kinney, at this point, the way he's been going, can just probably go all 9 innings. And he might be able to be honest. It would be the first time I've seen that all season by any pitcher. And that one will be in there, called strike 1. The only pitcher that I've seen go a full game for the Pioneers would be Gardner Meeks, who went all 7 innings in the first game of the 1 doubleheader that the Pioneers have played so far this season against Geneva. 0-1 the count to Muzio. Kinney sets, deals. That's another swing and a miss. 0-2 the count to Muzio. 2 outs here on the top of the 7th. Muzio just looking for contact. Trying to get something. Kinney 0-2. Will now set, deliver. That one will be down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Muzio. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Kinney 1-2 will be granted time. That pitch will not count. It was down low anyway. But Muzio got time before Kinney pitched it. So 1-2 goes the count. Or no, 1-2 still is the count to Muzio. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Or excuse me, top of the 7th. What am I saying? And Kinney at this point is on pace to pitch a no-hitter right now. Pioneers need to change that desperately. That one will be down low for ball 2. So the count will even up at deuces wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Muzio trying to get on somehow, some way. Kinney will set, deal, swing and a miss, and he fails. That is the second strikeout for Muzio and the fifth for Kinney. And now Pioneers once again come up empty and do absolutely nothing in the top of the seventh. We go to the bottom of the seventh right after this. Pioneers not looking too great right now. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the seventh inning here. Pioneers down 3-0 to the Muckdogs, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Pioneers. It'll be Connor Lutz, number 27, making his first appearance of the season. He's had 5 starts so far. He has a 3.62 ERA and 22.1 innings pitched. He's given up 20 hits, 13 runs, 9 of those earned, 20 walks, and 22 strikeouts. He has a 1-2 record so far this season. Last time we saw him out was on the 4th of July at Jamestown, where he threw for 2 innings, had 4 runs, gave up 4 runs, and had 2 strikeouts in that one. Lutz obviously just looking to go clean here and try and get the bats back up, but it's not looking good. Pioneers really, I was hoping that they could at least start to chip away at Kinney, but they haven't even gotten a hit. I mean, there's nothing that the Pioneers have been doing on offense. It's been amazing pitching. Once again, the pitching has been great. Kelson did a phenomenal job starting. He really did. Even though he gave up 3 runs, it was still great. A great performance by him, but yet, still, even with that great performance, it's probably not going to be enough just because the Pioneers, once again, they haven't struggled the past couple of nights getting hits, but tonight, they don't have a single hit. And leading off this inning for the Muckdogs, number 88, Giuseppe Arcuri, the second baseman tonight. He popped out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. Will now be the first batter that Lutz has to face. Lutz now will set, fire. That one is in there, called strike 1. 0-1 the count now to Arcuri, no outs in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz now sets, delivers. That one is outside, ball 1. So 1-1 the count now to Arcuri as it evens up. Lutz now will set, deliver. Swung on a weakly chopped third base side, but foul. Schroeder got the worst end of that. And Schroeder's limping a little bit and is hurt. He's going over to talk with Lutz. Head coach Andrew Drum has come out of the dugout to talk with Schroeder. And the trainers come out from Batavia's side. It'll be a 1-2 count to Arcuri. And we'll see whether Schroeder's going to be good to continue. It looks like he will. He's just going to shake it off. Schroeder will be all right, and looks like. And now step back in. He's going to tough it out. 1-2 the count to Arcuri here. No outs in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz looking for his first strikeout in the first batter faced. Lutz will set, deal. That one is going to be upstairs, ball 2. So 2-2 the count now to Arcuri. No out in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz, 2-2. Will now set, deliver. That one will be just outside, called ball 3. So 3-2 goes the count to Arcuri. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz does not want to give up a leadoff walk here. Lutz now 3-2. Will set, deal, swing on it, driven over to Pasaccia at short. Pasaccia cannot field it, and it'll be a reach by error. And once again, Pioneers just cannot catch a break. And so that'll be, they're going to rule it a base hit, but really it's an error. If Pasaccia fields that cleanly, that is an out. And so technically a single for our Curry to lead off here in the bottom of the 7th. And another base runner for the Muckdogs. They don't need any more. And now that'll bring up number 2, Christian Bernardini, the extra hitter tonight. Grounded out in his first 2 at-bats. Lutz now will set, deal, swung on it, popped up, right field side and out of play. Count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count out of Bernardini. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th, and it'll be our Curry off first. Lutz looks over to our Curry, 0-1. Now we'll set, deliver. That one will be in there. Called strike 1. Or excuse me, called strike 2. So 0-2 goes the count to Bernardini. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Our Curry off first. Lutz now set, steals. That one will be outside. That one got away from Schroeder, and our Curry will go over to second. That'll be a ball as it got away from Schroeder. So 1-2 the count now to Bernardini. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. One and two the count to Bernardini. Lutz looks over to our Curry at second. Will now set, deal. That one will be called strike 3. Lutz strikes out Bernardini to put 1 out here on the board in the bottom of the 7th. And so now that'll bring up number 4, Trey Bacon, the first baseman tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat. RBI doubled in his second at-bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Our Curry's still off of second for the Muckdogs. Lutz set, steals. That one is outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count now to Bacon. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz now 1-0 will set, deal, swing and a miss there by Bacon. And the count now evens up at Aces Wild. Lutz sets, delivers. That one is upstairs, ball 2. 2-1 the count to Bacon, so we'll take the lead in the count. 2-1. 1 out here, still in the bottom of the 7th. Our Curry still over there off of second base. Our Curry a massive lead off second. Lutz looks over that way. And now we'll set, deliver. That one will be upstairs, ball 3. 3-1 the count out of Bacon. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lutz does not want to give up a walk here to put 2 runners on with only 1 out on the board. Our Curry once again off of second. Lutz set, steals. That one will be a swing and a miss by Bacon. So the count now will go full 3-2. A big pitch coming up here for Lutz. 3-2 trying to pick up his second strikeout. It would be back-to-back for him to put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lutz looks over to our Curry. Will now set, deal, swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's the second strikeout for Connor Lutz. And that'll put 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. That was a big strikeout for Lutz. And so now that'll bring up number 27, James Celta, the designated hitter tonight. He lined out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Lutz will now set, deal. That one will be down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count to a Celta. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz now will look over to our Curry again, still off second. Will now set, deal. That one will be in there. How is that not called strike one? Wow. I thought 1,000% that was going to be called strike two. That one looked right towards the top of the zone, but right in the middle. Gonna rule that one high. Goes the umpires. The 2-0. Lutz sets, deals. That one is in there, called strike one. So 2-1 goes the count to a Celta. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz now 2-1 will set, deal. That one will be outside, ball 3. So 3-1 goes the count to a Celta. Big pitch coming up here for Lutz, trying to not give up a walk with 2 outs on the board. Lutz 3-1. Looks over to our Curry off second. Will now set, deliver. That one will be inside, ball 4. And that will be a walk for a Celta with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners on first and second out for the Muckdogs. And now that'll bring up number 32, Rashad Robinson, the center fielder tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Lutz looking for any out to end the bottom of the 7th, and Pioneers in desperate need of offense when we go to the top of the 8th. And of course, they're right on the edge of where their maximum pretty much has been for the entire season in terms of getting runs against very good opponents. Lutz will set, deal. That one will be called strike one. So 0-1 the count to Robinson. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz now 0-1 will set, deal. That one will be in there, called strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Robinson. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Lutz will set, deal. That one will be check swing. They're going to say he's safe, so it's going to be ball 1 to Robinson. So 1-2 goes the count now. Lutz looking for his 3rd strikeout here to end the bottom of the 7th inning. Lutz now will set, deal. That one will be outside for ball 2. So count now will even up. Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lutz now 2-2. Our Curry almost got caught. Will set, deal. That'll be called strike 3. Lutz strikes him out, picks up the 3rd strikeout of the night for him, and will end the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. Pioneers, if they don't get any runs in the top of the 8th inning, this game will be all but over. As I highly suspect that they will not get 3 runs in the top of the 9th. They haven't done that but one time all season long, so they need to at least start to chip away at it to really have a realistic chance, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but that's just what they've done all season long. That's the frustrating part about the Pioneers this season. Their pitching has been elite, but even if the pitching just gives up 3 runs, it's sometimes just enough. Like, that's enough for the opponents to get a win against the Pioneers. If the Pioneers could consistently get 5 or 6 runs a game, they would be double their record right now. I strongly believe that. The amount of, like, blowout losses that the Pioneers have, it's because of the bats not being able to get anything, and then if the pitching even gives up a couple runs, then it just becomes impossible for the Pioneers to win. And it's still Ryan Kinney on the mound here to start the top of the 8th inning. And so Kinney, I'm sure, Kinney's just going to be out there until he gives up a hit. Because at this point, Kinney has given up no hits to this point. And so until he does, they're probably just going to leave him out there to try and keep the no-hitter. And this would be a bad loss already as it is. And then to have a no-hitter thrown at you, it's just not good. Pioneers on a 3-game win streak coming into tonight, and it's on life support right now. It'll still be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Pioneers, so not all hope is lost here, but they need to get something going in right now. And it'll be number 10, John Schroeder, the catcher tonight, leading off. He grounded out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat. Kinney now will set, deal. That'll be inside ball 1. 1-0 the count to Schroeder. And like I said, Kinney's just going to be out there until he gives up a hit. They do have a pitcher ready to go in the bullpen. He's been warming for about 6 innings now. Or not 6, more like 3, but Still, he's been warming for quite a while, but Kinney's just been that good. Swung on a driven first base side, but foul. So the count now will even up 1-1 to Schroeder. No outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Kinney now 1-1 will set deal. That one will be down low for ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Schroeder as he takes the lead in the count. No outs here in the top of the 8th. Schroeder, it would be really clutch if he could get a hit here. Kinney will set deal. That one will be called strike 2. And so 2-2 the count to Schroeder as it evens up. No outs here in the top of the 8th. Kinney 2-2 will now set deal. Swung on a driven first base side, but it'll be scooped up by Bacon, and that'll be an out. And that's the way the night has gone for the Pioneers. They have just not gotten any breaks. Not to mention that they haven't been able to get good contact. They just haven't gotten a break. No errors by the Muckdogs, and they've been able to get all those drives into the infield. The amount of ground outs on the scoreboard, on my score sheet here on the Pioneer side is absolutely ridiculous. And so now that'll bring up number 9, Aiden Blake, the extra hitter tonight. If the Pioneers could turn half the ground outs into singles, this would be a tie ball game, at least. And he flew out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. Kinney will now set deal down and will be called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Blake, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. And still a pitcher warming in the bullpen for the Muckdogs, but Kinney might not need him at this point. 0-1, Kinney will set deal, swing and a miss by Blake, and the count quickly goes 0-2 now. Kinney, I gotta do a strikeout count here real quick. That is, he has 7 already tonight. This would be his 8th if he picks it up here against Blake. 0-2 now. Kinney will set, deliver, swing and a miss by Blake. That is the 8th strikeout of the night for Kinney, and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. I think Kinney's gonna go all the way at this point. I mean, the Pioneers have not been able to touch him. I mean, this is by far the worst that I've seen the bats all season. By far. I mean, they've been shut out before. The Pioneers have been shut out before this season, but never have they gone without a hit. And now that'll bring up number 44, Chris Bear, who will be pinch hitting here for Hernandez after he got ejected. And so Bear, this will be his first at bat against Kinney. 0-1 quickly goes the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Kinney now will set, deliver. That one will be just, wow, I'm surprised that was not a strike. And the count will even up 1-1. Like I said, there have been some calls that from up here, and I'm a little bit left of home plate, so my perspective isn't necessarily dead center, but there have been some pitches that have been called ball. That one looked like a ball, and it's called strike 2, so there have been some interesting calls tonight. 1-2 the count now to Bear. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Kinney can pick up his 9th strikeout to end the top of the 9th inning. Kinney now will set deal. Swung on a driven right field side by Bear and out of play. Foul, so the count will stay at 1-2 now. Kinney now 1-2. Will set, deliver, swing and a miss. And Bear goes down swinging. That's the 9th strikeout of the night for Kinney, and still no hits for the Pioneers. They still have done nothing, and we go to the bottom of the 8th where it really looks like this one is probably going to be over, and it could very easily be a no-hitter for Kinney. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream, and there'll be a new pitcher on the mound for the Pioneers here to start the bottom of the 8th, and number 11, Brendan Ferrari. Ferrari normally the one tasked to close out games for the Pioneers. In this one, he'll be tasked with just trying to get him through cleanly to maybe give the Bats one final chance in the top of the 9th, but it's not looking good, to say the least. Ferrari making his 8th appearance. It's a 1.50 ERA, 12 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, both earned. 3 walks, 11 strikeouts so far, and 2 saves on his record. Last time we saw him pitch was on the 5th at Auburn, where he threw for 1 inning and got the save in that game. That was the start of the 3-game winning streak for the Pioneers. However, that is on life support right now for the Pioneers. It's not looking good. Kenny is still perfect. He still has his no-hitter. And so I think Kenny's going to be out there for the top of the 9th trying to get the no-hitter. And Pioneers, it'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Pioneers in the top of the 9th once we get there. But we still have to get through this bottom of the 8th. And leading off for the Muckdogs in the bottom of the 8th, it'll be number 7, Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat, singled in his second at-bat. Ferrari now will lean in. And now we'll set, deal, swing, and a miss there by Rodriguez, and the count goes 0-1. 0-1 the count to Rodriguez. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari now will set, deal. That one will be called strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Rodriguez. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari looking for his first strikeout here on this 0-2 count. Ferrari now will set, delivers. That's going to be an interesting call. They're going to call him safe as it hit Rodriguez's bat as he check swinged it. So the count will go 1-2. I've never seen that before. Rodriguez just stumbled back, and I heard it go off of his bat. Ferrari will set, deal. That one will be outside for ball 2. So the count will now even up 2-2 to Rodriguez. Ferrari still looking for his first strikeout here. Ferrari now will set, deliver. That one will be outside and down low. 3-2 goes the count now to Rodriguez. Ferrari, big pitch coming up, trying not to give up a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ferrari now 3-2 will set, deliver. That one will be inside, ball 4. That'll be a walk for Rodriguez to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Muckdogs. Not that they need any more help. And now that'll bring him number 16, Josh Ledham, the right fielder tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and grounded out in his third at-bat. Ledham has normally been actually pretty successful against the Pioneers. They had a quiet night tonight. Ferrari will hopefully keep it that way. Ferrari now will set, deliver, swing, and a miss there by Ledham, and the count quickly goes 0-1. 0-1 the count now to Ledham. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ferrari now. 0-1 will set, fire. That one will be called strike 2, and there is going to be an attempt to throw out. It will be a throw out. That should be an out, and it will be an out. The umpire finally gave the signal, so that'll be 0-2 the count to Ledham, and an out here on a throw out at second by Schroeder, and it was Montagna who tagged him out. So 1 out here now, and an 0-2 count, so Ferrari's right back in it all of a sudden. Ferrari looking for the strikeout here. It would be his first of the night, and it would put 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari now will set, deliver. That one will be down low and outside for ball 1. So 1-2 the count to Ferrari. 1 out here in the bottom of the, 1-2 the count to Ledham. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari will set, deal, swung on a driven third base side. That is going to be fair. And Bear will throw to first, but that is not going to be in time. And so that is going to be a single for Ledham here. And now a runner on first once again for the Muckdogs here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. Now that'll bring up number 36, Lucas Lopez, the third baseman tonight. Lopez lined out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat, and then was walked in his third at-bat. Ferrari now will set deal. That one will be inside for ball 1 to Lopez. So 1-0 will go the count. 1-0 the count to Lopez. Still only one out here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari now will set deal. It'll be Ledham who steals, tries to steal second. He'll have to come back as it's a foul ball. So Ledham will come back to first. And the count will go aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Lopez will now step back into the batter's box. 1-1. Ferrari will check back over to first and Ledham. Ledham will be safe. Uzi will put a tag on, but not in time. And so it'll still be 1-1 to Lopez. Ferrari now will set, deliver, and Ledham's going to try and steal again. Schroeder, a good throw, however, not in time. The count will go 2-1 to Lopez, and Ledham successfully steals second. The throw was just left by Schroeder. It was a good one, however, it was just left of second base, and that was enough for Ledham to get all the way across. And so now Schroeder's going to have a talk with Ferrari. Count will still be 2-1 to Lopez here. Still only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, so Ferrari still quite a bit of work to do. Ferrari, 2-1. Let him take. He's a big lead off second. Will now set deal. That'll be swung on a chop to Pasaccia at short. Pasaccia will turn to first in time, and that will be 2 away. So a ground out there by Lopez will put 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. However, Ledham did advance to third off that. So runner at third for the Muckdogs with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And it'll be number 23, Adam Agresti, the man at the plate. Agresti, the catcher tonight, doubled in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, and then doubled in his third at-bat. So he's 2 for 3 tonight. He's been the main one causing problems for the Pioneers. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Let him off of third. Ferrari set, steals. That one is outside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Agresti. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari now, 1-0, will set deal. That one will be inside. 2-0 goes the count to Agresti. Ferrari 2-0. Will now set deal. That one will be called ball 3. Check swing there by Agresti. So 3-0 goes the count to Agresti. Ferrari does not want to walk Agresti here, even with 2 outs. As that would put runners on the corners for the Muckdogs here. Ferrari 3-0 will now set deal. That one will be in there, called strike 1. A nice pitch by Ferrari to get back in the count. And so now it will be 3-1. The count to Agresti. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ferrari just looking for one more to give the Pioneers one last chance. Ferrari will set deal. Swung on a driven. Left field side. That'll be a base hit, and that'll score. And now a 4-0 lead for the Muckdogs off of an RBI single from Adam Agresti. Agresti has just been a massive problem for the Pioneers today. 2 doubles and an RBI single. And so now that'll bring up number 45, Matt DeStefano, left fielder tonight. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Singled in his second at-bat, lined out in his third at-bat. Pioneers in even worse shape here, as now they have to come up with 4 runs somehow in the top of the 9th. They haven't done that all season. They put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th against Jamestown in the first time that those 2 teams met. However, they haven't done anything like that since then. 0-2 quickly goes the count to DeStefano. So Ferrari looking to just end this one with no more damage. Ferrari 0-2 will set deal. Swung on it, popped up. Weak. Ferrari will field it. Throw to Muzio in time. That will end the bottom of the 8th inning. We go to the top of the 9th. Pioneers down 4-0, and they'll be down to the last 3 outs right after this.
All the way down, it's the same message. customer engagement, employee engagement. This is what we do here at Transdev.
Have a nice day.
It's not a job that you gotta drag yourself out of bed to get here. It's you wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 9th inning, and Ryan Kinney's still out there for the Muckdogs. They're going to go and give him a chance for a no-hitter. It'll be the first no-hitter I've seen all season from any pitcher, Pioneers or otherwise. And so you have a chance here. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Pioneers. So Pioneers are going to need a lot of work if they want to try and keep this game competitive. And leading off in number 14, Jake Keller, the designated hitter tonight. He grounded out in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat. Keller now will step in to face Kinney for the third time here. Kinney now will set, fire. That one is down low for strike one. 0-1 the count to Keller. No outs here in the top of the 9th. Pioneers down to the last 3 here. So they're going to need to make something happen. Kinney will set, fire. That one will be inside. Ball 1. That one actually clipped the umpire as it got past Agresti. So the count will even up 1-1 to Keller. No outs here in the top of the 9th. Kinney now 1-1. Will set, deal, swung on and driven. That'll be a base hit in the right center, and the no-hitter is officially over. Finally, the Pioneers have actually put a hit on the board. It'll be just a single for Keller, as Keller almost got tagged out there at first. He wasn't very careful. Kinney not happy about the call. However, that will be the first hit of the night, and the no-hitter is officially off the board. And now I think that's going to be it for Kinney. Unfortunately, he was 3 outs away from a no-hitter. An amazing performance by him. I tip my hat to him. Amazing performance. Ton of respect for him. He's going to get a standing ovation here, but I think his night will be over. I'll have to wait and see. It'll be Keller on first. It'll be Montagna at the plate once the decision is made. And they're going to leave Kinney out there, actually. Kenny's going to still be out there. They're going to ride with him, and they're going to let him go all 9 here. Obviously, Batavia's manager would love to go this entire game without using another arm. And so Kenny's going to be given the chance here. It'll be number 42, Mick Montagna at the plate, the second baseman tonight. He lined down in his first at-bat, struck out in his second at-bat. Runner on first and Keller, and we need a ton of base hits here now. Pioneers have not had one up until this top of the 9th. They need to have a bundle of them here. 0-1 the count to Montagna. No outs here in the top of the 9th. Kinney now will set, deal. That one is going to be, wow, I'm surprised that was not called strike 2, and I think the crowd agrees with me. 1-1 the count as it evens up to Montagna. Like I said, there have been a couple pitches tonight where I thought they were either clean strikes or clean balls. And once again, Keller almost got tagged out there by Bacon. Bacon is very quick with the glove. However, he is still safe over there at first. That'll be a swing on a chop back foul by Montagna. So the count will go 1-2. It's Kinney who was pitching. I forgot momentarily. I couldn't say his name. 1-2 the count to Montagna. No outs here in the top of the ninth. Kinney now will side eye and now set deal. That one will be down low. Ball 2. So that'll even up the count 2-2 now to Montagna. That one almost got away from Agresti enough for Keller to run over there to second. Not quite. So the count will even at 2-2. No outs here in the top of the ninth. So if the Pioneers can get a couple runs going with no outs, they'll have a chance. And that one will be outside, ball 3. Crowd not happy about it. And even our Curry over there at second was not happy. He had his arms in the air like, what the heck? And so 3-2 goes the count to Montagna. Full count here. Kinney will set, deliver. Swung on it, popped up in a center. The center fielder Robinson will go back for it and make the play. And so that will be the first out on the fly out from Montagna. Pioneers down to their last 2 outs here after that. And so now that'll bring him number 30, Cam Levesque, the right fielder tonight. He flew out in his first at-bat, lined out in his second at-bat. And the Pioneers, no hitters officially off the board for Kinney, which is at least nice because that would have been really embarrassing. And that one will be chopped foul. And Cam showed a bunt. Cam Levesque showed bunt there. So 0-1 goes the count to Levesque. 1 out here on the top of the ninth. Keller still over there at first. Kinney 0-1 will set deal. That one will be inside and down low. Ball 1. So aces wild goes the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Keller still over there at first for the Pioneers. Kinney now will set, deliver. That one will be upstairs. Ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Levesque. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. There's still an arm warming in the bullpen for the Muckdogs. They're going to try and get Kinney to finish this one out. Kinney now, 2-1, will set, deliver, swing and a miss there by Levesque. And Levesque not happy. He knows he needs a hit here. And the count will go 2-2. 2-2 the count as it evens up to Levesque. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Keller still over there off first. Kinney deals. That one will be outside and down low for ball 3. That one almost got away from Agresti again. And Pioneers could use a couple pitches that get by Agresti here as they need some extra bases. 3-2 goes the count to Levesque. Kinney now will set, deliver, swung on a driven weak to short. The shortstop cannot field it, will turn over to first, not in time. And so that'll be a reach by error, and there's runners on first and second for the Pioneers with only 1 out. There were no outs given by that. The shortstop did not go to second to try and get Keller. He went to first and was not in time. And now the manager's going to come back out, and I think that will do it. Yep, that'll do it for Kinney now. That'll be a reach by error, the first of the night for the Muckdogs. It'll be number 22, Nick Bisaccia at the plate after Kinney is officially off. Once again, I tip my hat to Kinney, even though he is the Pioneers' opponent. What a performance. 1 hit, no runs, and 9 strikeouts on the day. An 8.1 innings pitched. An amazing performance. So I tip my hat to him. He will be going off for the night. And so we will wait to see who the new pitcher will be for the Muckdogs here in the top of the 9th inning. Pioneers still alive with runners on first and second and only 1 out on the board. However, they need to continue to get some hits. And so it looks like it'll be number 46. Aiden Cooney will be the new pitcher on the mound for the Muckdogs here. Cooney will be the one to close this one out for the Muckdogs, or at least try to. Now, Cooney's going to take his time and warm up here. It'll be Bisaccia at the plate, number 22, the shortstop tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. This will be obviously his first time facing Cooney, as all we've seen all night from the Muckdogs is just Kinney. Obviously, Pioneers, they'd love to get a walk from Basaccia or a single. It doesn't have to be that Basaccia gets a run. And the reason why I say that is because it'll be Charnetsky after him. But even if Charnetsky can't get anything, and let's say he just strikes out, that'll still only be 2 outs on the board in the top of the lineup up. So that's really where the Pioneers need to get. If they want to try and come back in this game and try and mount a rally here in the top of the 9th, they need to get the top of their order back up. And if Basaccia and Charnetsky can get on base or only one of them gets out, then that will allow for the top of the order to come back up. So that's the goal right now for the Pioneers. So right now, obviously, they'd love for Basaccia and Charnetsky to get a base hit or to get walked. However, even if only one of 2 of them get that, that'd still be good enough to get the top of the order back up. Basaccia will now step up to the plate, trying to get what would be a massively clutch base hit here for the Pioneers to try and keep this one going. 1 out here in the top of the 9th as Cooney will now step in. Cooney looks over to Keller off of second. And now we'll set, deliver. That one will be inside and upstairs, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Basaccia here. 1 out in the top of the 9th. Not all hope lost here for the Pioneers. They just need to keep things going. I'm hoping that with Cooney now in, their luck can change, as Kinney, they had no luck. Cooney will set, deal. That one will be down low in the dirt, ball 2. So 2-0 the count. Basaccia off to a nice start here. Like I said, if he is walked, that would load the bases for Charnetsky with only 1 out. And if Charnetsky gets a base hit or gets walked himself, then the Pioneers can start to chip away. Cooney looks over to Keller. 2-0 will set, deal. That one will be down low. Ball 3. 3-0 goes the count to Basaccia. This would be massive to get a walk here for the Pioneers if Basaccia can draw it. Basaccia really is looking to draw a walk. The base hit wouldn't be bad either, but I think the walk would be preferable almost at this point just to get another base runner on. Cooney, 3-0. We'll look over to Keller. And now we'll set, deliver. That one will be upstairs. Ball 4. That'll be a walk for Basaccia. And this game is not over, as now the bases are loaded and only 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And number 24, Eric Charnetsky at the plate. The left fielder tonight, he was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. And now, because there's only 1 out here in the top of the 9th, even if Charnetsky gets out, there'll still be a chance for Granado and Muzio and Schroeder to get some ABs. Obviously, Pioneers would love if Charnetsky could deliver a base hit here or get walked. Cooney will set, deal. Swung on a chop, fight, right field side and foul into the stands. Count will go 0-1 to Charnetsky. Bases loaded for the Pioneers with 2 outs remaining in this ballgame for him. Cooney 0-1. Well, now set, deal. That one is going to be called strike 2. That's a big call right there. That one looked a little low. However, they're going to give him the call. 0-2 the count to Charnetsky now. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. This game will not be over even if Charnetsky strikes out or gets out here on this pitch. Obviously, Pioneers would really like it if Charnetsky can get a base hit here. Time will be granted, and so Charnetsky will have a moment. Cooney now. 0-2. Well, now set. Deal. That one is going to be outside. Ball 1. Crowd does not like the call at all. And so 1-2 the count to Charnetsky. That will keep the Pioneers' hopes even higher. That would look called strike 3 from up here. Cooney will set, deal. That'll be check swing. They are going to say he went. And they're going to call it a strikeout for Charnetsky. And Charnetsky barely swung the bat. but that is going to be a strikeout. Dugout does not like the call, but not all hope is lost here. It is 2 outs in the top of the 9th, yes, but bases are still loaded for the Pioneers, and it'll be number 1 Matt Granado at the plate. Granado, the center fielder tonight, grounded out in 3 straight at-bats. If he can get a base hit here, then the Pioneers will still be in business. Obviously, it'll be Muzio and Schroeder behind him. Cooney will now set, deal, swung on a driven. That might be, it will be a base hit single. That'll score 1, and Levesque will slip down, so that'll just score 1 as Levesque will have to limp back over. Everyone will go back. That'll still keep the bases loaded in a RBI single for Granado to put a run on the board for the Pioneers. Levesque slipped over there at third, and so that's what prevented him from coming home. He was rounding it as if he was going to come home, but it is a 4-1 ball game, and Joe Muzio is at the plate. Muzio does have power. If he can get contact here, the Pioneers are not done yet. 2 outs here, top of the 9th. Bases still loaded. Muzio at the plate. He flew out in his first at-bat, struck out in his last 2. He needs contact. Cooney will now set, deal, swung on a driven left field side, but a foul and out of play. Count will go 0-1. This game is not over yet. Muzio homers, and they are leading. Obviously, that's a bit of a stretch, but even if he base hits, that might score 2 and keep this at a 4-3 ball game, and Schroeder is up after him. Cooney 0-1 will set, deal, that one will be down low, ball 1. Count will even up to Muzio, and Muzio does not have to get a hit here. Bases are still loaded, so he can still be walked and drive in a run. So Muzio does not have to go swinging here. 1-1 the count. Cooney now will set, deal, swung on a popped up left field side, a foul. Count will go 1-2. 1 strike ends it here. Base is still loaded for the Pioneers. 2 outs, top of the 9th, 1-2 the count. Muzio will step back in. He does not have to swing here. Once again, like I said, if he draws a walk, it still drives in a run. Cooney 1-2. Will now set, deliver. That one will be upstairs, ball 2. And so now, count will go deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Muzio gets contact. He'll probably drive in 2. If Muzio gets walked, it'll still drive in a run and keep the bases loaded. That might honestly be preferable. However, he still needs to get 2 balls from Cooney. 2-2 the count. 1 strike ends it. Cooney sets, delivers. That one will be outside, ball 3. Crowd does not like the call again. And now a massive pitch. This is the biggest pitch of the ball game. 3-2 the count to Muzio. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Muzio is walked. It scores a run and keeps the bases loaded. Muzio strikes out. The game is over. Cooney 3-2 will set, deal. That one will be upstairs, ball 4. That'll keep the bases loaded, and the Pioneers are only down 2 runs. It's a 4-2 ball game. And all of a sudden, with John Schroeder at the plate, the Pioneers have a chance to take the lead. Schroeder at the plate, bases still loaded, and Cooney will be getting a talking to. There is a pitcher warming in the bullpen for the Muckdogs here. Schroeder has a lot of power. He's gotten some triples in the past. He's gotten some doubles in the past. He gets one here. Pioneers will take the lead. Or at least tie. And no, they're going to go to their ace. It's Big Ray, who's going to be coming in here to pitch against Schroeder. They went from 1 arm trying to close this one out. They're now going to be going to 3 arms here. And Big Ray will be taking over. With 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. And so now we'll have to see how he will fare. Big Ray has been hyped up. This is the first time I'm actually getting to see him pitch. He has not pitched against the Pioneers all season. He's pitched very few games. However, now he's coming in as an ace reliever in order to try and end the ball game. If Schroeder gets a base hit off Big Ray, that would be massive. Number 0, Ronaldo Usan is his actual name. His nickname is Big Ray. He was nicknamed that by Alec, who is the Batavia broadcaster, not broadcasting tonight. He's 6'3", 308 pounds out of Georgia Southwestern State. He's a junior there. His hometown is Haines City, Florida. And he'll be coming in here in an absolute, the most dramatic situation you can possibly have in a baseball game. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Bases loaded. And Schroeder has the plate. Schroeder so far tonight, ground out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second at-bat, ground out in his third at-bat. However, that all came against Kinney. He has not faced anyone else. And so, perhaps his luck will change against Big Ray. And if the Pioneers, if Schroeder gets a base hit, it'll probably tie the ball game, unless it's a weak single. If he is walked, it'll get it to 1 run, and then it'll be Blake at the plate. And so this is exactly what the Pioneers needed to do. They needed to get the top of their lineup up, and they have it up right here. And this is their chance. This is one of the most intense finishes ever. This reminds me of the Jamestown game, where it was bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And that was 5-3, the final in that. Pioneers were a swing away from tying that. And now same situation here. Can Schroeder change the Pioneers' fate? And so Big Ray will now step in. On the mound now, Schroeder in the batter's box. Usan will now set deal. That one will be called strike 1. Wow, what a pitch that one. I saw that moving from up here. 0-1 the count. Schroeder could be in trouble here. I know Alec is a huge fan of him. Let's see what he's all about. 0-1 the count. Usan sets deals. That one is going to be called strike 2. 0-2 the count to Schroeder. 2 straight strikes. Schroeder's in trouble. Pioneers are in trouble. 1 strike away from ending it. 0-2 the count. Can Schroeder do something? Usan will set deal. That one will be upstairs. Ball 1. A good take. That is amazing movement. I have to say, this is an amazing move. I've never seen a pitch move like that. And I'm not at a good angle to see these pitches. I haven't been able to call many tonight. But I'm seeing that thing just wiggle in midair. I mean, that's amazing. 1-2 the count to Schroeder now. Usan will set deal. Swing and a miss by Schroeder. He goes down swinging, and that ends it. The final score, 4-2 Pioneers. 1 swing away from rallying, come up empty. And so they will drop to 15-10 and 5-6 on the road. And the schedule does not get any easier for the Pioneers, which is why I wanted the Pioneers to win so badly tonight, is because tomorrow's game is in question. It's supposed to be a doubleheader in Elmira. That is very much up in the air. There's a ton of rain forecasted tomorrow, so that is very much up in the air. And then there'll be an off day on Monday, and then they'll be on the road for 3 straight games. They'll be on the road at Newark for a doubleheader on the 11th. They'll be at Niagara. Then they'll be back here in Batavia on the 13th to play these very same Muckdogs again. And so the road does not get easier for the Pioneers. And they drop one here tonight, 4-2 the final to the Muckdogs, their rivals. Once again, they still cannot win here in Batavia. Until tomorrow, maybe in Elmira. I am Alex Shepard, and I will see you all next time.